Good morning and thank you for checking out this video. Today we're going to be looking at the things that I worked on last week, talking about what I finished, talk about some things I did in the shed, and we're going to be drawing the winners from the giveaway that I had on a video. So I hope you sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. I'm thinking this is the combo I'm going to do for this hat to donate. I'm going to use this rib, this center, and then this crown decrease. So I'm going to do the ribbing part in this pink, and then I'll do the center part in this fun color, and then I'll do the crown decrease, which is this red section, in the pink again, or I may do a color work. I don't know. I even have an orange that I could bring in, so I don't know. So I did get my hat cast on. I'm not very far, as you can tell, because I'm having some issues with allergies right now, and I'm not feeling my best at all. I also took some Benadryl as I was trying to cast this on and start this. For some reason, my Benadryl absorbed brain, it cannot absorb the pattern. And so I messed it up when I was casting it on and doing that first row as far as where to put the knits and the pearls. So I'm not ripping it out. I just don't feel like it. So what I'm doing is, before I knit anymore, I'm just going back around the needle and fixing the stitches. It doesn't take very long. It's just finding time to do it. And so I'm putting in stitch markers as I go so that I can mentally do this with my Benadryl and not have any more mess ups. But once I get this going, I can knit on this weekend, and it should go decently fast. I actually use my Likey 5-inch needle tip to cast on. It's just easier for me to cast on stitches that way and then transfer them to the little hat size. So this is my Shorties interchangeable set. This is Knit Picks Caspin Wood. I've had this set forever. I did manage somehow to lose the US 10 years ago, and I found it, and then I set them aside to put them back in here, and I don't know where they are. I do have some footage that I'm going to put towards the end of the video that talks about some of the tips and tricks that I use when I knit in the round, and so if you're interested in those, make sure you stick around for that. But this is, I love this yarn, and I'm really not sure of the colorway, because it was something that I got from a thrift store at D-Stash, but I think it's going to be nice pairing it with this multicolor. What do you think? Just let me know. So I talked about which hat I'm going to make. If you missed that, I'm going to play it right here to the side. I think it's going to be a pretty easy hat to go and do using these yarns, using this pink as the brim and this multicolor in the middle, and then maybe finishing out the crown decreases in the pink. I think the way the reverse stockinette and the stockinette works on the middle of the hat, this is going to make this yarn do some really cool things and also break up any pooling that it may have. So that is one project that I'm really focusing on this weekend. As far as my other works in progress, I did get some work done on one of my socks. Not a lot, but I did get some. I put in a stitch marker to where I was last week when I recorded for Vlogust, which is right here. And so I got this section of the red done. Oops, I have a stitch that jumped off. So I did a couple of rows, nothing major or crazy, just some knitting. And then for my poncho, let me show you what I got going on there. Same thing, I stuck in a progress keeper so I could show you where I was. So I was where the green progress keeper is, and I've only done 2 sections. Not a lot. I have been really busy this weekend, and I think that's what ran down my system and why I feel like this today. But it is what it is. As far as my finished object, I did get done with the little mini sock. So I had started this last week for Scrappy Sunday, and I originally thought this was some of my Desert Vista dye works because I am making a bunch of these little socks to make a garland for my shed. And I started knitting this and realized quickly that this is not Desert Vista dye works yarn. This was gifted to me a while ago. This is probably a Regia yarn according to what I know of Regia and the way that their colors work up. So it's either a Regia or an Opal, probably. But I think it turned out super cute. And so what I'm going to do with it is just use it as a ornament on my Christmas tree that I put out here every year. So you'll be seeing this again later on. Let's go ahead and choose the winners from the giveaway that I had. So I did have a unannounced giveaway on my channel. I like doing them that way just because I feel like announcing them kind of can lead its way to YouTube trying to think that I'm trying to coerce you to subscribe or like to win, and that is against YouTube's terms and conditions. So I like to just put them in my videos and then ask you to, if you want to be entered to win, to leave a comment, because you never have to be a subscriber to my channel to win per the rules and regulations of YouTube. And all of this information is at the bottom of the video where I had the giveaway posted. And I'll have the information as well at the end of this video in the description, so you can look over that, linking back to the original video. So in my video where I did the vlog with Buddy the Bee from K&K Bumblebee Mountain Outreach blog channel hop, I said that I was going to give away, I think, 3 cards with some stitch markers. So I'm going to randomly pull those and put those right here. Now, the winners of these will need to contact me. I'm not going to be contacting you. I'm not going to go under your comment and put a link. So if you have that happen, please know that it's spam and do not click that link. Just report it and I will remove it, or YouTube will remove it. I will give you 7 days to email me and claim your prize, and then I will get those out to you as quickly as possible. I need to know if you are a knitter or a crocheter, because that can result what kind of stitch markers I send you. So make sure when you send me that message and let me know that you are a knitter or crocheter or both in your message. To message me, all you have to do is look down at the bottom of my video. Every one of my videos has a direct contact form in the bottom, as well as links to all my social media and my website, and you can contact me through any of those. I may ask you to verify yourself, just because the spammers have gotten ridiculous, and that would just be coming back and leaving a comment under your comment on the video or something like that. So not a big deal. So congratulations to the winners, and again, please contact me. You have until Sunday of next week, which would be the 24th of August. So the last thing I have to share with you is the fact that I got to go to IKEA on Thursday. They finally got my bookcase back in stock, and I am so excited. I started putting all my crochet books in it yesterday. I still had some magazines to go through. I realized, though, that I do have double copies of some of the magazines. So maybe if there's an interest, I might do a giveaway for those. I need to figure out which ones I all have double copies of, and then I can do future giveaways on those if you would be interested in winning one. They're all crochet. They're the Simply Crochet magazines, and I thought that might just be fun. If anyone is interested, let me know down below. But it's nice to finally have this wall in order. However, it was quite a pain putting it together. Oh my goodness. I should have prepared better. I don't know if I can keep this place clean more than a day. There's always a project going on, and I just want to be done so I can sit and knit more. Although, I don't think it's ever gonna be done. Ta-da! The missing bookcase. It finally came in after 8 months of not being in stock. It's like 5 minutes later, and I realized for whatever reason when we put the original 3 bookcases here, we did not center them in the wall. So these 3 main bookcases need to go that way, about 1.5 inches. Now I could leave it. No one's probably going to notice, and I could fudge the 2 corner cabinets in, but I will notice, and it would drive me crazy. So that's all I have. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Happy vlogust, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. I'm casting on my hat for my contribution to K&K Crochet's Bumblebee Mountain Outreach, and I thought I would take the time to show y'all a little trick that I like to do. So whenever I'm knitting in the round, I always want a jogless beginning. And it's very common when you join in the round that you get this space between this first stitch and this last stitch. And so I'm going to show you what I do to avoid that. And that is I cast on a whole extra stitch. So the pattern call is for me to cast on 99 stitches. I am casting on 100 stitches, and then I'm going to move those stitches to the end of my needle, which As you can see, my stitches are kind of stretched out, and we're going to handle that in a minute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the very first stitch that I cast on, and I'm going to slide it over to my working needle. And then I'm going to take this very last stitch, this extra stitch that I did. I'm going to pull it out, and I'm going to slide it over and then pull it off so it kind of goes over the very first stitch. And then I'm going to slide that first stitch right back on the needle. And then I'm going to pull these tight. And now I'm ready to knit going around. And I'm not going to have that space in between. So I would just knit as normal. I don't like to have to fight my stitches as they work around the needle. So I'm going to do two other tricks. The first one is I'm going to put these on a whole different cord. So these cords actually come with these shorty needles. These are the Knit Picks Caspin wood set. And I thought, well, maybe not everyone knows what these tools are for, so this would be a great time to teach you a couple of things about interchangeables. Here's my new cable. This is a stopper. So we're going to put it on the end and screw it on. This has multiple uses. I like to use it when I'm transferring stitches, which is what we're about to be doing. I also like to do it if I'm knitting on something and I really need those size tips that are on the project. I can take them off and I can put these stoppers on there, and I don't have to worry about the stitches falling off the work in progress. This is a tightening tool. I'll go over that in a minute. And we're going to be using this tool. We're going to stick this one on this end. So this tool also has multiple uses. You can use it to connect cables to make a longer cable if you're knitting a really long blanket. Or in my case, we're going to use it to move stitches around. So we're going to take off one of these needles. And we're going to screw it in to the other end of this connector tool. The stitches that are on the cable, my connector tool, and then my new cable are all connected together in harmony. So what I'm just going to do is slide all my stitches over to their new home. And once I get them over here, I'm going to undo the connector tool. Let me get all these squared away so we can see what's going on. So now you can see the stitches are a little bit more clumped together, which that's perfect for me. I like them clumped together. I don't know how I'm gonna like knitting with this acrylic yarn on wood needles, but we'll get through it. We'll figure it out. So now I want to set up my needles. And this is where things go a little bit differently for me. When I'm knitting in the round, I know that I can make it go faster by having two separate needle tips. So once I push this over here and I start knitting, this is going to be my working needle because I'm going to be knitting around. And I'm going to put in and pull my stitch around. So this needle needs to be the correct needle size, which in this case, I'm actually going to knit these with a US 7. And currently I have on a 4mm, which is a US 6. So I'm going to switch that to my US 7. Is that a US 7? Which is a 4.5mm. And I'm going to put that on, and then I'm going to take my tightening key. That's what this is. So for Knit Picks, Knitter's Pride, Knit Pro now is what they're called, you get these little needle looking things, and they're tightening keys. So if you look at your needle on the cable, you have two holes. Let me see if I can zoom in. There we go. You have one hole here, a bigger one, and then there's a smaller one there. The bigger one is where we're going to stick this, and this just kind of gives you something to hold on to so you can tighten that so it won't come undone. So you might be like, well, what's that second hole for? Well, that second hole is your lifeline hole. So you can actually run a piece of dental floss through there and leave it on, and as you knit, it'll automatically install a lifeline for you. And then if you make a mistake, you can just rip out your needles and pull out all the way to that lifeline, and they won't drop all the way down. For my purpose, on this left needle, because I'm just going to be knitting in a circle, it does not have to be that US size 7. So I can go down. I'm actually going to go down to a 5. and it's going to help the stitches slide off of this side for faster knitting. So now I'm going to tighten this one up and I'm good to go. As you can tell by Ginger's current status, she is still living a very hard life. It is so hard that she had to stop and charge in the window light. And it's just, it's just so hard that her life these days. She could also be trying to allow the food that she ate to actually digest, because she took food away from that one earlier, who, as you can tell, needs no more food anyways, but she's doing good.